right now to find somebody who has paid maybe $60,000 or $65,000 for a very high-end pickup truck. Well, even the average pickup truck now is going to be crossing over that $50,000 barrier.
You won't believe what's happening to these truck models. Once the pride of the road, these trucks are now on the brink of extinction, and it's a shocking fall from grace. Sales are plummeting, demand is disappearing, and some of these trucks may never hit the streets again. Stick around, because the stories behind their decline will leave you speechless. From performance giants to forgotten relics, the truth behind why nobody's buying them anymore is more surprising than you think.
Okay, so the owners of this beautiful Scania, they're going to show me the interior.
The truck market has always been a crucial part of the automotive industry, but in recent years, several models have found themselves on the verge of extinction. Sales have been down across the board, with some well-known names struggling to stay relevant in an ever-evolving market. The reasons for this decline are varied, from changing consumer preferences to the industry's shift towards electric vehicles. While it's clear that the demand for trucks isn't going anywhere anytime soon, certain models have failed to keep up with the competition, and their fate is now sealed. One of the most notable trucks to face this decline is the Nissan Titan. This full-size pickup, which has been a staple for Nissan in the American market, will be discontinued after the 2024 model year. Once seen as a strong contender in the full-size truck category, the Titan simply couldn't compete with the heavy hitters like the Ford F-Series, Chevrolet Silverado, and Ram 1500. Despite offering solid performance and features, the Titan fell short in terms of market share. A key factor in its downfall was the lack of updates and innovations over the years. While competitors introduced new technologies, more powerful engines, and better overall performance, the Titan remained relatively stagnant. In fact, its sales had been steadily declining for years, and in 2023, it sold only around 27,000 units. This was a far cry from the nearly 70,000 units it sold back in 2016. Nissan's decision to focus on electric vehicles and SUVs has led to the Titan being sidelined. It's clear that despite the Titan's capable features, its time has come to an end. Similarly, the Ram 1500 Classic, once a popular choice among budget-conscious buyers, has also been quietly phased out. Introduced as a more affordable version of the Ram 1500, the Classic was meant to offer a stripped-down option for those who didn't need all the bells and whistles of the higher-end models. However, it's been clear for some time that the Classic simply couldn't compete with newer models, both in terms of performance and technology. The Ram 1500 Classic had been on the market since 2019, but its sales numbers started to drop significantly after 2022. By 2024, Ram had decided to discontinue the model altogether as part of a move to streamline their truck offerings. The decision to cut the Classic from the lineup was driven by declining sales and the desire to focus on more profitable models, including the higher-end Ram 1500 variants. While the Classic may have served its purpose at one point, the market no longer had a place for it, and Ram has now set its sights on newer, more innovative vehicles to appeal to truck buyers. Next up, we have the Ram 1500 TRX. This high-performance truck, known for its supercharged V8 engine, made waves when it was first introduced in 2020. With its aggressive styling, fat tires, and powerful engine, the TRX was meant to be a competitor to the Ford Raptor, offering a more off-road smoking option for buyers. Despite its promising start, the TRX's future is now uncertain. Production of the truck was halted in early 2024 due to growing concerns over emissions regulations. The TRX's massive engine made it difficult for Ram to meet the stringent emissions standards that have been enforced in recent years. As a result, the TRX was pulled from production, with plans for a return in 2026 once new emissions regulations are in place. However, the TRX's future remains unclear. Although Ram has promised to bring it back, it's hard to say if the truck will regain the popularity it once had, especially with the growing shift towards electric vehicles and more fuel-efficient options. The Honda Ridgeline, a unique unibody pickup, has also been struggling in the market. While the Ridgeline has always offered a more car-like experience compared to traditional pickups, it never gained the traction that Honda had hoped for. In 2024, the Ridgeline sold just 45,421 units, marking a 12.7% decline from the previous year. Despite its practicality, with features like an innovative in-bed trunk and smooth ride, the Ridgeline never truly appealed to traditional truck buyers. Its unibody design, while offering better ride comfort and handling, was a turnoff for those looking for the rugged off-road capability that trucks are known for. As a result, Honda is now facing the possibility of discontinuing the Ridgeline. While it may not be a full-size truck, its performance and design struggles have left it on the edge of being phased out. The Ridgeline may have been an interesting alternative for those who wanted a truck that wasn't as rugged, but it's clear that the demand for such a vehicle is simply not strong enough to sustain its continued production. In a similar vein, Toyota's Tacoma has been facing declining sales as well. This mid-sized truck has long been a favorite among buyers looking for a reliable and durable pickup. However, in 2024, sales of the Tacoma dropped by 18% from 234,768 units in 2023 to 192,813 units in 2024. Several factors contributed to this decline, including recalls, production issues, and increasing competition from rivals like the Chevrolet Colorado and Ford Ranger. The Tacoma's traditional appeal, while strong, is starting to show signs of wear as consumers increasingly demand more modern features and better fuel efficiency. Toyota has yet to make any official statements about discontinuing the Tacoma, but the declining sales numbers suggest that the model may not have much of a future if it doesn't evolve to meet the changing demands of the market. Lastly, the Ford F-150 Lightning, Ford's all-electric truck, has faced significant challenges in terms of sales and production. Initially seen as a promising entry into the electric truck market, the F-150 Lightning struggled to meet consumer expectations. Issues like charging problems, high insurance premiums, and quality control issues led to declining interest from potential buyers. In late 2024, Ford halted production of the F-150 Lightning for 6 weeks to address these issues. This temporary pause in production highlighted the struggles Ford was facing with the Lightning, and the truck's future remains uncertain. While Ford is still committed to the electric vehicle market, the F-150 Lightning's poor reception among truck buyers could have long-term consequences for the model's success. The automotive landscape is constantly shifting, and certain models that once enjoyed popularity are now seeing their sales decline at an alarming rate. While trucks, in general, continue to be in demand, some models have not been able to keep up with changing preferences or evolving technology. In the second part of our breakdown, we will dive into some truck models that, despite being launched with high hopes, are now facing an uncertain future. These trucks have struggled to maintain market relevance and are now on the brink of extinction. One of the trucks that have struggled with relevance is the Ford Ranger. Once a strong competitor in the mid-sized truck category, the Ranger has seen its sales take a hit in recent years. Despite a slight increase in sales between 2023 and 2024, the Ranger continues to fall behind competitors like the Chevrolet Colorado and Toyota Tacoma. The Ford Ranger's 46,205 units sold in 2024 are a far cry from its heyday, and even with improvements, it's clear that the truck is struggling to capture the attention of today's truck buyers. The market has evolved, with many buyers now preferring more powerful engines, better fuel efficiency, and newer technologies. The Ranger, despite being a solid option, has failed to stand out in a crowded market, and its future remains uncertain. The Toyota Tundra is another model that, despite a loyal following, has faced significant challenges in recent years. Although Toyota has revamped the Tundra in recent years with improvements like a new hybrid powertrain and better technology, it has struggled to regain its footing in the full-size truck market. The Tundra sales have remained stagnant, and it hasn't been able to capture the attention of buyers in the way that the Ford F-150 and Chevrolet Silverado have. In 2024, Tundra sales dropped by 14%, and despite Toyota's efforts to refresh the model, it seems that the truck hasn't been able to carve out a significant share of the market. The Tundra's fate remains uncertain, especially with the growing competition from other brands offering better value and more innovative features. A truck that has been suffering from a lack of appeal is the Honda Ridgeline. This truck has always been unique, offering a more car-like experience compared to traditional pickups. However, the Ridgeline's unconventional unibody design has failed to win over enough truck buyers. While it boasts features like an innovative in-bed trunk, a smooth ride, and advanced tech, it has struggled to compete with more rugged, off-road-oriented competitors. In 2024, the Ridgeline saw a drop in sales with only 45,421 units sold, marking a 12.7% decrease from the previous year. Many buyers simply don't see the Ridgeline as a true truck, and Honda has struggled to market it as a practical option for people who need more than just an urban cruiser. As a result, the Ridgeline's future remains in jeopardy, and Honda may eventually discontinue the model if sales continue to decline. Then there's the Nissan Frontier. The Frontier has been a reliable option for buyers seeking a mid-sized truck, but even its strong reputation couldn't prevent it from being left behind in an increasingly competitive market. Although the Frontier saw a significant update in 2022 with a new design and better features, it hasn't been able to match the success of rivals like the Toyota Tacoma or Ford Ranger. The Frontier's sales, while steady, have been sluggish compared to the competition, and it struggles to differentiate itself from other trucks in its class. With an increasing number of consumers looking for advanced tech, off-road capabilities, and better fuel efficiency, the Frontier's traditional design and lack of major innovations may eventually push it out of the market. Another model facing serious issues is the Chevrolet Colorado. Although it has enjoyed some popularity in the midsize truck market, the Colorado has been on a downward trajectory in terms of sales. Despite offering a solid list of features and a capable engine lineup, the Colorado has struggled to maintain momentum. In 2024, Colorado sales dropped by 19% with only 88,000 units sold. The truck faces fierce competition from rivals like the Toyota Tacoma, Ford Ranger, and Nissan Frontier, and has struggled to stand out with new innovations or designs that attract buyers. While the Colorado still has some fans, it's clear that it needs a major overhaul to remain competitive in the market. The increasing popularity of more off-road-oriented trucks and electric vehicles has also shifted the market in ways that the Colorado has not been able to adapt to, and the truck's future is now uncertain. The Ford F-150 Lightning, Ford's attempt at an all-electric truck, has also been a major disappointment for the company. Initially introduced with much fanfare, the F-150 Lightning was Ford's attempt to dominate the electric truck market. However, the model has faced a number of issues, including production halts, quality control problems, and consumer concerns about range and charging. In late 2024, Ford paused production of the F-150 Lightning for 6 weeks to address these issues, highlighting how difficult it has been for the company to deliver the electric truck that buyers expected. The F-150 Lightning has failed to meet expectations in terms of sales, with a much lower than anticipated number of units sold. In addition, the high price tag, limited availability, and lack of range compared to competitors like the Rivian R1T have made it difficult for the F-150 Lightning to win over truck buyers. It remains to be seen whether Ford can turn things around for the F-150 Lightning, but for now, it seems to be struggling to find its place in a market that is rapidly shifting towards electric vehicles. Another model on the brink of extinction is the Tesla Cybertruck. While the Cybertruck garnered over 1 million pre-orders before its official release, the model has failed to live up to the hype. Despite having a futuristic design and a bold marketing campaign, the Cybertruck has faced a number of challenges. One of the most significant issues is its high price, which has deterred many potential buyers. The Cybertruck also suffers from quality issues, with many early reservations being delayed or canceled due to problems with production and design. Although Tesla has continued to promote the truck, it's clear that the Cybertruck hasn't found the broad appeal that was expected. While it may still have a dedicated following, it's unclear whether the truck will ever reach mass market success, and it could end up as one of Tesla's many ambitious projects that didn't quite take off. The GMC Canyon, a mid-sized truck, has also struggled in recent years. Although it has a strong engine lineup and offers a smooth ride, the Canyon has failed to attract the kind of sales that GMC had hoped for. In 2024, Canyon sales dropped by 15%, and despite offering features like advanced tech and off-road capabilities, the truck hasn't been able to carve out a significant place in the mid-sized truck market. The Canyon faces stiff competition from trucks like the Toyota Tacoma, Ford Ranger, and Chevrolet Colorado, and it hasn't been able to differentiate itself enough to stand out. With a growing emphasis on fuel efficiency and eco-friendly options, the Canyon's future in the market remains uncertain. The truck market is currently in a state of flux, with many once popular models facing the possibility of extinction. In part 3 of our breakdown, we will look at a few more truck models that have failed to maintain their market position. Some of these trucks had big plans when they were first introduced, but despite their initial promise, they now find themselves at risk of disappearing entirely. Whether due to poor sales, shifting consumer preferences, or changing market conditions, these trucks are now struggling to stay relevant in an increasingly competitive environment. One of the trucks that have been in steady decline is the Ford F-150 Lightning. Ford's push to make the F-150 an all-electric truck seemed like a bold move when it was first announced. The F-150 is one of the best-selling vehicles in America, and Ford's decision to launch an electric version of their flagship truck made a lot of sense in theory. However, the F-150 Lightning has faced a number of issues that have kept it from reaching its full potential. Despite initial excitement and strong pre-orders, the F-150 Lightning has struggled to meet expectations in terms of sales. Several production halts have occurred, especially in late 2024 due to quality control problems and consumer concerns over range and charging capabilities. The truck has been criticized for having a high price tag and insufficient range compared to some of its competitors, like the Rivian R1T. Additionally, some buyers have reported issues with the truck's electrical systems, which has damaged its reputation. The F-150 Lightning is still in production, but Ford is facing the reality that the demand for electric trucks, while growing, may not be enough to keep the F-150 Lightning in production for much longer. Another truck that's facing a similar fate is the Tesla Cybertruck. Tesla's Cybertruck was announced to much fanfare, with over 1 million reservations placed before it even hit the market. Despite the hype, the truck has failed to live up to the high expectations set by Tesla and its fans. One of the most significant reasons for this is its design, which many people find off-putting. The angular, polygonal look of the Cybertruck has been described by some as futuristic and revolutionary, while others see it as an eyesore. Tesla has struggled with production delays, and despite the high number of pre-orders, many of those reservations have been canceled or delayed indefinitely. One of the major issues with the Cybertruck is its pricing. With a starting price well above the average price of a truck, many buyers have been hesitant to commit to the purchase. Additionally, the Cybertruck faces competition from established automakers like Ford and Rivian, who have already released their own electric trucks with more conventional designs. As a result, while the Cybertruck still has a loyal following, it has yet to find widespread appeal. Tesla's ability to meet production targets and resolve quality issues will ultimately determine whether the Cybertruck can succeed, but for now, it's in a precarious position. The Honda Ridgeline, while not a complete failure, has been a somewhat disappointing model for Honda. Unlike most traditional trucks, the Ridgeline has a unibody design which provides a smoother ride but sacrifices some of the ruggedness that many truck buyers expect. The Ridgeline has also been marketed as more of a lifestyle truck, with features like an in-bed trunk and a more car-like driving experience. While these features appealed to some buyers, they alienated traditional truck enthusiasts who were looking for something more durable and off-road capable. In 2024, the Ridgeline saw a significant drop in sales, selling only 45,421 units, which was a 12.7% decrease compared to the previous year. Despite offering a smooth car-like ride and features like advanced safety technology, the Ridgeline has struggled to find a solid place in the pickup truck market. Honda has tried to market the Ridgeline as a versatile truck for urban and suburban buyers, but it hasn't been able to match the popularity of more rugged competitors like the Toyota Tacoma and Ford Ranger. It's unclear whether Honda will continue with the Ridgeline or decide to discontinue it if sales continue to decline. The GMC Canyon, a midsize truck, has also faced a tough road in recent years. Although the Canyon offers a capable engine lineup and a comfortable ride, it has been overshadowed by its competitors. In 2024, Canyon sales dropped by 15%, and despite offering features like advanced technology and off-road capabilities, it simply hasn't been able to stand out in the crowded midsize truck market. Trucks like the Toyota Tacoma and Ford Ranger continue to outperform the Canyon in terms of sales, and GMC has struggled to differentiate the Canyon enough to make it a strong contender in the segment. The Canyon's traditional design and lack of major innovations have left it vulnerable in a market that increasingly demands more from its vehicles. As consumers demand better fuel efficiency, more off-road options, and more advanced technology, the Canyon hasn't been able to keep up with the times. Its future remains uncertain, and GMC will need to make significant updates to the Canyon if it hopes to maintain its place in the mid-size truck segment. The Ram 1500 TRX, which was introduced as a high-performance version of the Ram 1500, has also had a short-lived run. The TRX's supercharged V8 engine, aggressive styling, and off-road capabilities made it a popular choice for performance enthusiasts when it was first launched in 2020. However, the truck's future is now in limbo as production was halted in early 2024 due to emissions concerns. The TRX's massive engine made it difficult for Ram to meet new emissions standards, and the truck was pulled from production. Although Ram has promised to bring the TRX back in 2026, the truck's future is uncertain. While the TRX was initially a hit with performance enthusiasts, the growing emphasis on fuel efficiency and emissions regulations could make it difficult for the TRX to make a strong comeback. It remains to be seen whether the TRX will regain the popularity it had when it first launched, but for now, it's another example of a truck model that has been sidelined due to changing market demand. Another truck on the brink of extinction is the Nissan Frontier. Although the Frontier received a significant update in 2022, it hasn't been able to make a lasting impression in the mid-size truck market. Despite offering solid features like a new design and improved technology, the Frontier has failed to compete with rivals like the Toyota Tacoma and Ford Ranger. The Frontier's sales have remained sluggish, and it hasn't been able to differentiate itself enough to make it a top choice among buyers. The truck's outdated design and lack of major innovations have left it struggling to stay competitive. The Frontier still has a loyal following, but it may not have much of a future in an increasingly crowded market if it doesn't evolve to meet the demands of modern truck buyers.